Okay, continuing on with the theme of first-degree equations, we've got a problem that's a little more involved here. We're still asked to solve the equation, which means we still want to get the variable, in this case k, all by itself on one side of the equal sign. We've got, in this problem, k's on both sides of the equal sign, so we're going to have to do a lot of moving around to solve this problem. We always want to start on one side of the equal sign. In this case, I'll start over here, and I notice that we have a 4 that we can distribute to the parentheses, so we'll use the distributive property there. 4 times k is 4k. 4 times negative 3 is minus 12. And then we still have our minus 8 that we'll bring down. Still have our equals. And I'm going to write everything on the right-hand side here. So notice I'm writing everything back down each step of the way, and I highly suggest you do this as well. It'll just make it easier to track the problem as you go along and keep you from making any easy mistakes. So now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and combine some like terms, still sticking on the left-hand side here. I notice we have a minus 12 minus 8. Well, those are like terms. We can combine those. Negative 12 minus 8. So in my calculator, I'll type in negative 12 minus 8. And that gives me negative 20. So when we do the negative 12 minus 8, we've got negative 20. Still have our 4k here. Equals, and of course everything's still the same on the right-hand side. Now looking on the left, I don't notice anything else we can do here. We can't combine these because they're not like terms, right? This term has a k, this term does not, so we've got to leave that just the way it is. So let's move over here to the right-hand side. Just like we had a 4 on the outside of parentheses at the beginning, we have this minus sign sitting outside of parentheses, and we definitely need to distribute that through, just like we did with the 4 up here. You can think of this as a negative 1 sitting on the outside. So negative 1 times 2k, well, that's negative 2k. And negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. Still have our 3k that we'll bring down, still have our equal sign, and everything on the right is just the way it was before. Alrighty, still on the right-hand side, there's some terms that we can combine. 3k minus 2k, those are like terms, so we can definitely combine those. I know that 3 minus 2 happens to be 1. So when we combine these terms, we get 1k. And we still have our plus 1 here that we'll bring down. And everything on the left-hand side still there. So now we're here. And we've still got k's on both sides, but the problem looks a little bit simpler. Remember, we want to get all of the k's on one side and all of the numbers, all the regular constants that don't have any variables, we want to get those to the other side. So I'm going to make a decision here. I'm going to decide that I want to move this 1k. I want to move it over here to the left to be near this 4k, right? We want all of our k's on the same side. So how can I do that? Well, it's a positive 1k there, so if I want to get rid of it from the right-hand side, I'll just subtract 1k. Whatever you do to the right, though, you got to do to the left. So we're going to subtract 1k on the left as well. And whenever we do that, those will cancel out. And 4k minus 1k, well, that would be 3k. And we still have our minus 20 that we can bring down, equals. And we have this positive 1 over here, so I'll put the 1 there. Now we've got all of our k's on the left-hand side, right? There's no other k's sitting over here on the right, and that's a good thing. Now we just need to move this 20, this number that doesn't have any k on it, we want to get that over here with the other number that doesn't have a k on it. How can we do that? Well, it's a minus 20 now, so we will add 20. Negative 20 plus 20 will cancel out. And again, what you do on one side, you gotta do on the other. So we take care of that. Negative 20 plus 20, that's 0. So we'll just be left with the 3k on this side. Equals 1 plus 20 is 21. And now we have one more step. We need to undo this multiplication, this 3 times k. We want to get rid of that 3, so we undo multiplication with division. We'll divide both sides by 3. And that'll leave us with k equals 21 divided by 3, which is 7. And that'll be our final answer.